is... F.Badinger, and we're about to go into a day full of console action. I've been enjoying kind of just following along with it even more closely here in the fall split. I mean, we're looking at Europe in particular on Xbox here right now, and the competition is getting better and better. I think RivaL's still up near the top, but I mean, some of these other teams are catching up a bit.
Yeah.
I've been pretty excited by it, at least here so far. We're going into Cyclone up against a RivaL. Here is the first set that we're going to be taking a look at. Before we go into it, I do want to remind everyone at home that everyone is trying to sort of scratch and claw their way to that big tournament towards the end here, right? Yeah. They're trying to make it to DreamHack, trying to make it to HRX. But you all can make it right there as well. It'll just be a little bit easier on you. All you got to do is buy some tickets. hi-rezexpo.com, November 16th through 18th.
Yeah, everybody's trying to be the big star on the stage there. You know, I mean, DreamHack's going to be a big deal. Smite Paladins are there, but all of the big esports are there, man. I mean, it's going to be all just glitz and glamour, shining lights. You know, it's going to be pretty bright out there.
That's right. It's going to be so bright that it might be a little bit tough for you sometimes to try and watch out. So you just got to make sure you got the proper protection going on, just in case that is the kind of thing that were to pop up. But make sure you're there. It's not just Smite, but Paladins as well. And there's other stuff going on at the venue. It's really only going to be adding on to what you already were enjoying.
I got the glasses because it's bright. It's going to be a
almost,
bright future.
We almost were able to subtly do that. Just barely.
Well, it says DreamHack.
Yes.
See, can we zoom in? There's nobody behind the camera.
No, we cannot zoom in. That's not a thing we can do. But it does say DreamHack on it. I'll vouch for it, chat. It does indeed say DreamHack on the sides. But if you all want to get a little bit more enjoyment today and can't wait till HRX, we got to wait for you to do it. Go ahead and get your accounts linked up. That way, since you're already watching in Mixer, you can make sure that you are right there in line as soon as those codes start dropping. SPL Bologna, all the cool stuff that you can earn. Link those accounts.
I wish I had a pair of Mixer glasses now.
Yeah, so that you could hot swap out and then go to the Mixer glasses.
Hey, Eric Fausches, if you're out there listening, get me a pair of Mixer glasses.
I mean, he can't get you a pair in time for the shot.
I mean,
as amazing as he is.
I mean, he lives on the West Coast.
Yeah.
It's only a 6-hour flight.
Yeah.
He'll jump on the flight. He'll get in the plane. This is how you fly a plane, by the way.
Yeah, it won't be in time though. But he'll certainly do it. I know he will. He'll do whatever it takes to get everything done. But let's go and take a look at all the matches you can expect to come up here today. Again, the first one is going to be RivaL up against Cyclone. Astral and Armada, another big matchup for NeiI, is going to be coming a little bit later on. Whereas Flashpoint up against Elevate is going to be happening off stream. We're taking a look at the RivaL Astral games here today.
Yeah, excited to see what's going on here with North America and Europe as far as consoles concerned in the world of the Xbox kids. So very excited to see Astral Authority and Armada. These are two of the stronger teams out there. So shouts to them. Yeah,
the real big one is Astral and Flashpoint, I would say, in North America, but Armada kind of right there nipping at their heels, trying to get up and really claim that second place spot. We'll see. This is a true test for them if they can find this game. I believe Armada's one win came up against Elevate back in week 1. We'll see if they can build on that or if they're just kind of beating up on the team everyone's been able to win against so far.
Yeah, we'll have to keep that in mind because there's different levels of skill here. There's different levels of everything going on. So it's an exciting console world for sure.
I'm loving it right now, man. Console, it's so close. I just been following along. I've been doing like the recap videos and stuff and everything, kind of diving a little bit deeper, talking to some of the players. It's been absolutely crazy so far. So I love watching it. But if you want to see where things truly get crazy, absolutely go off the rails. Then go to DreamHack, like we already said. But this time, try and go to that after party. It's what happens, the stuff after the stuff. I believe that was Candyman that came up with that one.
I think it was Rain Day.
Yeah, they came up with that one. So pick up those tickets. HRX after party, .eventbrite.com. $50 gets you in the door. And you're able to enjoy hanging out with us, your favorite content creators, streamers, players. Everyone's there.
I'm definitely not taking my glasses off for that.
No, you shouldn't.
No. That's not happening. Wearing my glasses the whole night.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm a sunglasses inside guy.
I don't know. It looked like you kind of did. You did take them off. But going into RivaL...
I meant at night.
Sure.
For the after party.
Oh, you're going to wear them that night?
Yes.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I don't know if they're these necessarily, although those would be fitting. These say DreamHack on them. See? This DreamHack?
I see it right there on the side. RvL up against Cyclone, though. That's going to be the first matchup that we're taking a look at here, Tom. And I always kind of throw my eyes towards that duo lane, right? Towards Coast, towards DineOhSaw, to see how those two are going to be doing up against Davey on the other side. Switch over there as well in that support role. But I don't know. As much as I always watch that duo lane with him, it's a lot on Rapio here and NeiI, I feel like, on the side of Cyclone. Those two in that jungle matchup could really determine, especially early on, how this one's going to go. When Vapor's Coast and DineOhSaw start rotating, yes, their impact will be huge, but I'm definitely watching that jungle matchup.
Yeah, I mean, RivaL in general, everybody's got eyes on Rapio. DineOhSaw does his thing. I like to look in the middle lane. I think they've got a strong mid player, and I think what happens in the middle lane generally will dictate what happens throughout the course of the match. I maintain it's a jungle-driven league. I think that the jungler is your quarterback, so to speak, your in-game leader, whether he's shot calling or not. The actions that he does will lead your team in their direction. But the mid lane is, if the jungle is the rudder, the mid lane is the engine.
No, I'm right there with you. Fly has often been that for this RivaL squad, so he's like your perfect follow-up. He'll win a game for you too, but if you need him to just follow up, he'll do that. He's so consistent for this RivaL roster. One of the best mids out there right now on box. It's tough to try and say anyone who's better than him.
He's like Carmelo Anthony.
He's not like that at all. He hits all his shots. He's very consistent. He's a team player. I don't know what you're talking about.
Mention the first pick, Finch.
Serqet came through for RivaL. Super glad that they were able to grab this one for themselves. They banned away the Radtoss, the Chernobog, Freya, Athena. So Serqet probably was one of the stronger picks that was left. Najah, not getting as valued, I feel like, lately, but certainly still strong.
Yeah, definitely the change where he doesn't get the free power, certainly a little bit different. Najah, I think, is still a pick. I think he was a pick before the crazy buffs. I think he was certainly an option. So now Serqet, though, is certainly just a little bit more attractive, more control, and also I don't have a word for this just yet, but a gear shift character where you can, all right, I'm going to be a hard carry. Oh, no, I'm 0-2. I'm going to be tanky now. You can just change what your plan is there.
Maybe just like Evergreen. Yeah, I don't know. Serqet just kind of does whatever it is you need her to do at any stage of the game, even if she's struggling a little bit. And Rapio, we just talked about how strong he can be, right? So give him a pick like the Serqet, and he certainly can get it done, especially when you pair it with a Baron who already kind of forces your relics a lot of the times, and the Amaterasu. That frees up a ton of space for Rapio.
I like the Sun Wukong pick here for Cyclone.
Is that in the mid lane?
Maybe if you're actually.
Osiris already here. Yeah.
if you're Mouse, this is the Sun Wukong mid, but I don't know if Cyclone has been watching Cherry and the boys that closely. I think this is more likely to be Sun Wukong in the jungle.
Sure.
Some people like to put the Osiris in the jungle. Homie FA has been a big proponent of it. I prefer Sun Wukong in the jungle. Not many people do, so it's probably Osiris jungle, Sun Wukong short lane, Terra support.
I don't know, man. Tiger Stun's pretty good coming out of the jungle.
Tiger Stun is disgusting.
I love it. It's the stun is huge. It does plenty of damage as well. I wouldn't hate it either, but you're right. Probably, I think the Osiris that we're going to be seeing. And look at Cyclone here, taking an eye towards some of those immobile mages that have really been popular lately. Opwatch and Zeus, trying to take those away from Fly.
Yeah, and it's funny because immobile mages are so easily punishable, but at the same time, they're also going to kill you. Yes. So, don't want to get rid of those.
Well, there we go.
Across the way. Raijin, a little bit more mobile, I'd say.
Yeah, I would say so. In his ultimate, maybe he kind of fits that category with him, where he's kind of slowly drumming along, but he's got the Thunder Crash, which can be very strong to allow him to reposition. This is a really good pick for Fly, one he plays all the time, and the Hachiman coming in for Coast. So I love these so far.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Hachiman and the Raijin together. I think that they don't synergize in the way that people expect these characters to synergize. When you say banner, that's what people think about when they talk about synergizing with Hachiman. But I think that what Hachiman does is he keeps players close to you, and Raijin does that as well. So two players are going to apply the slows, and that's going to really enable RivaL to hunt people down.
Morrigan pick gonna come through, so they are indeed gonna be putting a mage in the middle lane here from Cyclone. No weird shenanigans, but who do you think's gonna win? Do you like this double warrior comp from Cyclone? Are you trusting RivaL, kind of the two-time now EU champs? Go ahead and vote for us in that mixer poll and let us know what you're thinking. But we're moving right into game one. RivaL up against Cyclone. Here we go.
Yes.
Eribiiax playing that Morrigan pick going right.
I'm sorry, Finch. If you guys have tuned in at all, for the past couple of weeks, Finch and I have really had a lot of fun doing our own podcast. It's John and Tom's Untitled Esports Show. That's every Saturday at 2 p.m. Twitch.tv/SYN, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But anyway, it's really fun watching us, and I got distracted. My point is, I kind of give Finch a bunch of nonsense the entire time, and now that I'm casting with him, I have to change gears. So give me a second, and about 10 minutes in, it'll be a good cast. But until then, I'm just going to really harass John Finch.
It's fine. It's everyone else thinks it's fun, so I get why you're there with them. My reactions are over the top often, but so can the Morrigan's impact if she's able to find a good game. Stun off the mark from Eribiiax here in the middle lane. That's unfortunate. That could have been an early chance for him to grab the HP advantage. Force if he pots out, if Eribiiax or Fly is carrying those, and maybe even get some jungle pressure. But now Fly able to hit level 2, going to be much more in line now with this Morrigan mid lane.
Over here in the left lane, though, DineOhSaw and Switch trying to deal with it. And Davey 1108 here on the Anhur. I've never really been impressed with this guy, so we'll see what DineOhSaw and Vapor's Coast can do here. I'm expecting big wins from RivaL's duo lane here.
Oh, they often are just dominant in the dual lane phase. They play so aggressively, they play so well together. DineOhSaw also not afraid to make early rotations. I wouldn't be surprised if he does on this Amaterasu as well. This RivaL squad, man, I mean, you definitely get why they've been so good all Season 5. They play so well as a unit. They're so strong individually, and Eribiiax might end up falling right here, right now.
Here it is.
Rapio, first blood to who else? RivaL on the board.
Just what a surprise. Said nobody. Rapio off the top, just coming through. Nice assist from Fly, providing the extra damage. But right away, you know, it's interesting. Serqet has always been, or excuse me, Serqet had traditionally been thought of as a later game character, a mid-game character, once upon a time. But as players played her more and more and more, they realized that just the taunt in the early game is extremely valuable, and you're getting the percent damage as well. And she really, pre-level 5, she doesn't even need that dot damage. She can just make it happen.
I've had to expend the purification beads, but that was instrumental for him staying close to Eribiiax and being able to find the kill. So good he's going with that beads as opposed to sometimes when we see the blink, might not be able to grab it. But you're right, Serqet's one of those gods who's pre-level 5 gank. We talk about that a lot of the times with the junglers in particular because the ultimates are so impactful. But Serqet has no problem at all ganking you pre-level 5. Cobra's Kiss is such good setup for the rest of the team. Death Pain is really good follow-up for it too. Oftentimes that's just enough paired with their mid laner as Coast has to use beads.
Yeah, nice beads there to avoid Cyclone's crowd control, but Team RivaL definitely have the power position here, so they're going to be able to just walk right through, look at the enemy jungle, and take care of that one.
No surprise at all. Coast and DineOhSaw, this is just how they play, right? They've drafted this aggressive dual lane, even into an Anhur, and they're pushing them back either way. Hachiman and Amaterasu having no problems right now clearing that wave out, and their pressure... it opens up the door for the rest of the team, even though they don't need it. But Rapio can play freely elsewhere, knowing he doesn't have to worry about these two.
I got excited there. Sorry.
It was a good impale.
Davey actually hit something, so you know had to like get excited for a moment. DineOhSaw now going to be slowed up. Now he's in trouble, but he impales him away. Why did you push him away?
Now it's up to Switch. He has to use the shell to try and keep them healthy. Sprint has come out as well, but at this point, back into the minion wave with DineOhSaw taking this much poke. There's no more kill potential there, but nearly half.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a little bit sloppy from the Cyclone boys. You definitely should not look for the impale away. If anything, what Davey should have done was rotate more to the right and impale into the wall. This way you get the stun on top of it. And if you can't guarantee the stun in that position, don't impale. The damage isn't worth it. You're going to get that amount of damage off of 2 to 3 basic attacks anyway, if not just 2 because of the way Davey's passive is working.
The situation away, and Rapio is ready to capitalize. Cobra's Kiss just on the one. Death Bane, last breath for the follow-up and to avoid the stun, but can't get there for the basic. But no one's going to slow down Vapor's Coast. One more auto attack sets up the kill. Another one for RivaL.
Oh my goodness. Nice response from Cyclone, though, as they make the rotation. Eribiiax with the stun primed. They get here a little bit too late, so I'll retract my nice comment there. CycloneGG, there's one thing. So I was very critical of you know, the play with the impale because I feel like that's Smite fundamentals. This is, if that's 101, this is remedial Smite. You don't back in the middle of the lane. That's not what you do. And I was critical of the play in the left lane before. I'm angry at that. That's just laziness. That's silly. That is silly's the word I'm going with, John.
And it's just not going to fly up against Fly and the boys here on RivaL. There's just no way for that.
That was sick.
As Rapio comes in and punishes them summarily for it, as he should. And now things are starting to be a bit of a problem, right? Because the two of the guys who truly do not want to get off to a good start, this Serqet and then this Hachiman, for Vapor's Coast, a bit of a signature pick for him. The Uller really kind of, I think, is flagship one, but Hachiman too. You just don't want those getting off to a good start.
I mean, Vapor's Coast also, let's talk less about the pick and more about the player. As ChronicThe Bros going to chase out ult for ult. I've always liked this guy. I think the solo laner here for for CycloneGG. He's got a tall task ahead of him. Predator's a strong player in his own right.
Oh, yeah.
But ChronicThe Bros can definitely hold the game.
But this is trouble. Fly and DineOhSaw a little bit ahead of the rest of CycloneGG on the rotation. Tycho Drums controls NeiI, but it's Rapio who's low, and he has to retreat. Earth and Fury comes out, but a big three-man stun from DineOhSaw, or whoever that was from, might set up for the rest of this fight. They are able to disengage on the back end, and that means Team RivaL are A-OK.
Nice job from Cyclone. The response from the mid lane was, again, a little bit late, but came and actually made an impact. Eribiiax transforming into the Terra there, making it really happen.
I'm telling you, man, double Earth and Fury in a fight is the... I like it.
Yes.
It's hard to top that one.
Yes.
So if Eribiiax wants to keep turning into Terra and trying to get the double Earth and Fury, you won't hear me complaining on the back end of it as we're moving our fight towards these oracles left-hand side. Fly gets good poke onto Davey, but without their ultimates, remember, Tycho Drums expended on the right-hand side. They really don't have much more kill potential. Davey just kind of walks right out.
Yep. Just able to slip on, and no big problem there, I think, at all for Cyclone. The duo lane tried to make the rotation over to the mid-Harpies to recap some of the lost experience that they got from being on the bad side of a gank or two, and now they have to defend their buffs.
Yeah, they're looking for NeiI Warnock, the solo laner, who's or rather the jungler, who's all the way over here in the jungle on the red buff side. They couldn't quite finish him off, though. Remember, no ultimates. They had that fight on the right-hand side, so that means their kill potential just a little bit lessened. They do successfully invade the buff, though. That's all they want. And, of course, it goes to Coast, who also that have gone to. And now they're going to just grab the Gold Fury.
And again, so I started to talk about, less about the pick and more about the player. Coast is one of the few hunters that I think remains the hard carry. Seeing hunters as being these guys that get up early and often and really keep your team in a bad spot is, I think, an outdated thought process.
Yes.
Now it's all about the mid laner and the jungler. Vapor's Coast refuses to adhere to that. And he's like, no, I'm level 4. Word. I'm the guy right now. And he's out here playing Mellow Ball 2-0-0, and I love it.
Yeah, my man just checks to make sure, oh, I still have auto attacks, right? So I'm good. And then he just keeps going in. It's really hard to deter this guy, as Chronic is going to let the stun happen, but he's okay with the trade, even though he's half HP, because blue buff has successfully been stripped away from Predators.
And that's a loss for Predators, actually. ChronicThe Bros still has his ultimate, no big deal there. Predators loses out and loses the blue buff. Chronic loses some HP that he doesn't care about, really. So not a big deal, and I that was an intelligent play, because Predators, the first time we see Chronic immediately go to the ultimate almost as a reaction. And the second time he goes, no, I have itemization now. I can handle the damage that's going to be incoming. So he walked right into it, shut down what Predators was trying to do, and just walks away. That, to me, the adaptation and the understanding of just how valuable his life is, or not valuable, rather, using his health pool as a resource, as I would say, when talking Magic. I mean, sure. Chronic is a smart guy. And right now, oh, beat him up, Clone, beat him up.
He's looking for the solo kill on Predators, but Rapio's coming in to alleviate the pressure. Clone still very nearly got it. Oh, he heals up the decoy. I didn't realize. But yeah, that's nice for Predators. Good interaction, gets him topped off. Now they have a chance to potentially collapse back onto ChronicThe Bros if they figure out where he's in the jungle. The ward will spot him, but bird form allows him to reposition. But I'm glad you were kind of talking about Chronic. He's been grinding, man. He's definitely been here in console playing, every opportunity that he gets. And so he's not too far behind Predators, who is very strong, obviously, but Chronic's right there, and now Rapio gonna team up for the kill. There's no ultimate here, and Chronic gets punished.
Yeah, that one was a little bit rough. Predators makes a good play there, and ChronicThe Bros just not aware that the jungle's still lurking in his jungle. Complete lack of vision on the right side for Cyclone. That's definitely going to be something that I want to see Chronic change. And look at that. Right away, he dies, he buys 2 wards, and he's ready to come back to lane. When I look at these players, the biggest thing I want to see, and this is a top-level play thing, when you die or lose a game, I want you to know why. And if you don't, then there's a problem. Chronic dies, immediately buys wards. He understands that lack of vision was the detriment to his play, and he gets surprised by Rapio, and he goes down again. So, bad play by Chronic, but a good response and a good reaction for sure.
And it gets punished a little bit because he goes for that dive onto Predators, underneath the tier 1 tower, and that's where he expends his ultimate, right? Trying to find that kill, and he can't quite close it out. And then Rapio shows up and he goes, okay, I can get out of here now.
Right.
But he sticks around without the ultimate he used on the tier 1, and that was with Rapio just there, just defending the tier 1 dive, right? So I agree that you got to have some vision there, but also some awareness that Rapio was just there defending Predators a moment ago.
Well, I think that was actually a really strong play on Rapio's part, because Rapio was just there.
Yeah.
And they did what they needed to do, and most players would get the hell out. Most players aren't still there. That was a tricky play by Rapio to stick around and stay local. And they killed ChronicThe on his own tower, so it's not like he was, you know, out gallivanting around. So no, I think that was more a great play by RvL, a tricky play by the jungler, less so than you should have known better, buddy. So I will bash him for the lack of wards, but I think that Rapio actually kind of was a little slippery there and kind of caught ChronicThe dreaming.
In some trouble this time, though. He does have the Somersault Cloud, so Predators forces that out 1-for-1. And
what's he going? He didn't heal, though. What's he going for?
Trying to see if maybe he could force that off. His rival grabbed the Gold Fury on the left-hand side. Yeah.
Wait. I love objectives like that. Like, okay. Nobody's going to do anything? Nobody's going to realize? Nobody's going to think about it? Nobody's going to say, hey, where is everybody? Come on, man. Wait, get by wards.
Ends up getting punished that time. Predators finds the solo kill. That's what he's looking for. Without the Somersault Cloud, looks like this tree is going pretty heavily in Predators' favor on the right-hand side, so finds a nice kill. Now NeiI Warnock walks over and recognizes that, hey, Predators does good damage. And there's half your health bar. See you later.
Oh, here's a jungler. I didn't even realize he was on the map. Oh. I love objectives like that.
Twice now, an objective has been taken away without any kind of defense from Cyclone.
I don't understand. Like, you know, you get okey doked once, sure. It's just vision. Can we see wards placed, actually? This is kind of ridiculous. All right, so they have been placing wards. They have the exact amount of wards. They're 2 wards down from where RvL is, and that's not something that would lose out. Where are they? Are they warding in the base? I mean, the vision has not been powerful for Cyclone yet.
Now, it does look like it's been some sentries, at least around gold, that might have been able to catch Cyclone napping there a little bit. And RvL are a bit on front, too, just gold-wise.
Oh, that's what's happening.
Yeah.
The first time that happens, you go, oh, and then you buy a sentry. You don't repeatedly give the opponent gold. I think this is really, I mean, it's a basic thing, boys. You got to fix that. 4,000 gold down now because of 2 cheap objectives. And, man, we don't have this stat. I want to know how much gold Cyclone have made from killing wards. I think it's at least 300 gold.
It's all gone to their favor. DineOhSaw going to be nearby for the red buff, but he's all alone for this one, so not going to have much potential there. They should be able to defend their own buff very well. But it hasn't helped that not only are the objectives going down, but really so have the individual fights, right? So it's been, you know, Predators kind of outdoing ChronicThe bros, or Rapio there with him to help out as well. DineOhSaw and Coast looking good in the dual lane. Rapio finding kills on that side of the map too. That's kind of created sort of this freedom around the map for RvL to sort of move up to these objectives, because Rapio has had such a tremendous presence here so far in the game.
So ChronicThe Bros has gone into the Runic Shield, which is what you frequently see players build against against Guardian solos. And the idea is, well, you only have like 50 power, now you have 0. Well, with the build that Predators is going with the Void Stone and the Power Boots as well, or the Pen Boots rather, I don't think that the Runic Shield is doing what ChronicThe kind of wants it to do. I think that the Glad Shield first might have been the better option, and I mean, watching the interactions between the two, a Pestilence is needed. Like, he's healing. That heal off of the decoy hurt my soul.
It did. That was rough, yeah.
The plan there for ChronicThe, the reason why we saw him sit in the jungle was he was like, all right, word, you got your jungler, I had to run away, but I'm going to stun you, one you, and then you're dead, and then I'm going to return to my tower. And then he returned to the lane and went, oh, you just healed for a gazillion off of my decoy.
Somebody's got to try and find a way to limit a little bit harder to the physical protection. You're right, Runic is something that's a nice bridge, as Coast looks like doesn't favorably come out with the train at to hold that thought as they took the man fight, but now with both ultimates down, Coast might be in a bit of a better spot and is healing up quite nicely. But yeah, he's going to need something maybe a little bit harder in terms of that magical defense as DineOhSaw gets the dash blocked.
Yeah, nice job there. Making sure to cut down the support player from getting to safety.
O'Neal just barely able to get out of the range of that life of the party, but that seems to have not deterred Predators. This is how my man plays, over-aggressive, and finds the kill. Nothing that NeiI Warnock could do. The send-up backing underneath this tier 2 tower, as now Fly Thunder crashes away.
ChronicThe Bros chasing down the middle laner now, going to get himself in some trouble. Surrounded by 2 players. There's a Terra ultimate on one side. Porous Coast trying to keep himself relevant, but a nice stun from DineOhSaw keeps Chronic from getting involved.
That's huge control on the backside. Now Coast is here to try and trade favorably with the Wukong. Has to get away from the Somersault Cloud. And at this point, Chronic might be a little bit too far forward. I'm surprised how much they're backing up, but I don't think that they recognize that Cyclone had essentially abandoned Chronic at that point, and so Team RivaL just kind of backed out.
Well, it's tough without the ultimates available. He lands from the cloud, Ox form knocks everybody up and gets away, or he lands from the cloud away from everybody and bird forms away. I mean, listen, Sun Wukong is the man with 8,000 lives.
Looking for the pull one more time, and he will be able to find Eribiiax. He's done! That's all that it takes is one stun and Fly's damage. And oh, what do you know? Gold Fury back up onto the map. 5v4 advantage going the way of Team RivaL.
Look, Predators is killing the ward. Like, that's what I'm saying. Predators trying to zone out Davey, who, by the way, bought first out on Bloodforge. We won't talk about it. Yes, we will. That's the wrong choice. You're already behind. You're going to buy an exorbitantly expensive item as your first item in the game. You have 2.5 items now. Your opponent has 1, 2, 3, and he's going to finish his 4th item, which is likely to be expensive if it's Chinsai. This is the wrong choice. Bloodforge in lieu of Devo gloves. I understand the mentality. Bloodforge is a better item and you don't have to really stack it up, but it's late game for a reason, and I think that Davey has really hurt himself as far as tower spike is concerned. RivaL have been able to do this on the left side without a care in the world.
Davey in a whole heap of trouble. Aegis keeps him alive for a second, but only for a second. Rapio finishes him off. Tier 2 tower under siege. The teleport will come through from Chronic, but I don't know if this is where he really wants to be. Dazzling offensive almost gets him down. He makes it up into the air, and Predators spends a little bit too long on the backside. Eribiiax punishes him. Cyclone can't defend the tower, but they make it 1-for-1 in terms of kills.
I need NeiI to be more involved. I need NeiI to show up more often. First of all, we didn't know the jungler was involved until I think 10 minutes is when he showed up on the solo lane. He already had 2.5 items, and he only has 3. I think that Cyclone's jungler right now, in that exchange, everything went kind of all right. It was a 1-for-1 at the end of the day. But the Osiris can make such a big impact with that judgment tether, lowering the output from the enemy team. I want to see that used more often.
Rapio really forcing the issue underneath the tier 1 tower. Can't find enough, though. Porous Coast is right there with them, though, so never seen this guy run away from a fight. They can't force down the tier 1 or find the kills on the back end of that. And now with the tier 2 tower down in left, the most recent Gold Fury going their way as well. RivaL have really started to open this game up. 7,000 gold out in front, 6,000 experience. It's going to get harder and harder for Cyclone to try and fight into this.
Yeah, Cyclone are just an uphill task right now. Only, like you said, 7,000 gold down, and that's like that is a realistic number to come back from. But with the way that RivaL has obtained their 7,000 gold lead, killing wards. I really want to know how much money they've made off of killing wards, by the way. I think that Team RivaL just looked extremely dominant, and I'm not saying it's over, but I would be surprised if Cyclone do find a win.
Predators looks like teleports to the tier 1 in left to stop Davy's push. So they're giving him no gold on the back end of that, and now the rest of RivaL, without this Baron, are going to pull up the Pyromancer. Chronic, NeiI, and Switch are all here for the defense, but it's too late. Pyromancer completed.
Cyclone are playing scared. That's what's happening here. Cyclone just aren't able to do whatever they want. Good for Davey. He's able to actually level up. He's level 14 for way too long there. Going in against Predators. Probably not the best idea there, big boy. And Davey expends his ultimate to watch all of the damage being healed up by Predators. Nice bait here, though, by the Hunter.
That's right, trying to get Eribiiax here, who doesn't find the stun. That's not the first one that's been off the mark from him, but transforming Serqet is very smart.
Oh!
Last breath should find the kill. Eribiiax gets that, but now the real Serqet's here, looking for Davey, but still to trade Predators out for Davey, who's already kind of behind.
Yeah.
Maybe not too bad.
No, that's a win for Cyclone as long as this fight doesn't go in RivaL's direction. Up here in the enemy backyard, RivaL just responding a little bit late to Predators over-aggression. That was a admittedly smart play from Davey to bait Predators in there.
That does go the way of Team RvL in the back end, though. The exact same thing we said was going to be a problem a moment ago. It ends up being 2 for 0 with the prolonged fight in the jungle, with Rapio getting the chase down onto Eribiiax and Chronic falling as well during that one. And now Fire Giant, yeah, that's got RivaL's name all over it. In fact, Predator should certainly be up in time to at least grab this buff for himself. If not, he won't be here for it, but he'll be able to at least get it.
If I'm a Forest Coast, I am trying to DPS as hard as possible. I don't want Predators to get it because it's funny.
Right? Just going like, oh yeah, sorry. What happened there? You guys just missed out on. Oops.
That's what happens when PSP play. My goal is to start a team fight, watch him die, and then do Fire Giant. It's 7 minutes. It's not even there. So I saw a surrender mode flash up on screen.
Sure, some frustration a little bit.
I think Cyclone should have done it.
You think this was just maybe too far gone? It's a best of 3 set.
Exactly.
You've got time to recover from it.
Game 1, this is a throwaway game. This has been trash since the beginning. I mean, I don't know. This has not been a good look for Cyclone, and the conversation usually is don't surrender because you could use this time to identify what went wrong and then make those adjustments and then actually execute in the next one. That's why you don't surrender, because you want to actually make use of the time and do that sort of thing. This game, I think, has been an embarrassment for Cyclone, and I'm very intentionally being harsh there. I think this has been one of the worst games I've seen from a team in a long time, and I think this is just, you got to put this one behind you, boys. This is not a representation of Cyclone's skill. I'm not saying they're the world's greatest team, but they're absolutely better than this, and this is something that they need to just forget about, move on to game number 2, and I think it might be tough to separate yourself from the performance or lack thereof in this game, man. I mean, it's one thing, like, I'm a musician, not a player. I've missed a note here or there, but when you box the solo, you walk off stage. I mean, and Cyclone right now, they're in the wrong key.
They definitely got some adjustments to be made, and I wonder if it can't start in the picks and bans for them, because they draft pressure, right? They have this Osiris in the jungle, they have this Anhur in the dual lane, which are, these guys are supposed to be kind of winning their matchups, winning their lane, but Rapio was the one that had presence from the beginning of the game. Neil was almost invisible, right? Davey and Switch are losing pressure to DineOhSaw and Vaporage Coast the whole time. So it's like the competition they draft for never even gets to get off the ground, and then from that point on, RivaL are stealing away objectives that Cyclone are kind of sleeping on too. So it really kind of feels like it's leaking from both ends, right? There's multiple leaks on this ship that the Cyclone got to find a way to try and seal up moving into the next game.
Yeah, that's really the key there, is that the composition is fine. I don't think CycloneGG lost because of anything but the way that they played the game. Sure. Lack of vision around the early objectives and giving up objectives early in the game made it so that RivaL just had the bigger numbers. MOBAs are really cool because everybody has their own individual play style and their own role in the team, but at the end of the day, numbers are a thing, and RivaL reached a point where Cyclone couldn't mathematically beat them way before they're supposed to, quote unquote. And so it was poor play. Neil didn't really do anything. Davey looked like trash. ChronicThe Bros was the only one doing something, and that was early on, and then it all changed. And he also got beat up by Predators. And there it is one more time, NeiI Warnock going down. So for me, Cyclone this was a really rough game. And as I said, I will give them the proper shout and say they're a much better team than this, John Finch. Which is why I think they need to put this one to bed, move on to game 2, and show us what they can really do.
Yeah, Predators has been able to build a little bit less defensive and more damage, and it's really worked for them, as Eribiiax has all the relics forced out on the back end by Rapio's presence. Chronic up into the somersault cloud right away, and Phoenix down about half HP. But there's been a patient seed so far from RivaL. Now they control Chronic when he lands. Phoenix destroyed Thunder Crash for the interruption, and Vaporage Coast with a fadeaway shot. ChronicThe Bros gonna rest in base. Double kill for the Pentakid. Triple kill, of course, because this is just what Vaporage Coast kind of does. He can't get the full Penta here, but this is certainly GG for RivaL over Cyclone in game 1.
Vaporage Coast just loves to end games with multi-kills, and this one, just no difference.
No, not at all. This is just that's just how this guy plays, man. It's been really strong for him. They didn't have to call his numbers so much this game. Yes, he was 6-0-2, but he did a lot of his work in the dual lane. He was contained. No. This one felt way more to me about Fly and Rapio and Predators' impact. Rapio really helping Predators get out in front, and Predators kind of running away with it once he got it.
Yeah, Predators did a good job over there in the solo lane. Like I said, I think this is more about Cyclone, and I know I'm being harsh here, and I don't really apologize because that's what they gave us. Cyclone Cyclone, I feel like I have to say it a second time, they're better than this game number one. But I don't think this isn't something that I'm, you know, putting on RivaL's highlight reel. This is RivaL played better than the other team, so much so that the game was over in 5-10 minutes.
Well, who's your MVP from that game one? I think for me, I got to give that vote to Rapio. I think Predators had the big highlight plays, so did Fly. But one more time, the catalyst for all of it really was that Serqet out of the jungle.
Yeah, Serqet right there, absolutely. Got the first blood, got a bunch of secondary options. ChronicThe was the only one on this team that was actually really doing anything interesting here. He had control of that solo lane, was able to win a trade with the ultimate exchange and steal the blue buff. That's what NeiI was doing. NeiI was actually helping out on that solo side, so I guess apologies to him for calling it wrong. But as soon as RivaL said, okay, they're doing something positive, Rapio went, not for long. And then he walked over there, he took care of the Sun Wukong, and that was the tail of the tape in the short lane. So Rapio, not only did he execute in the early game just by playing the character, but also he did the jungle thing. I compared the jungler to a rudder before, and the ship started to steer off course, and he snapped it back into place by taking care of business in the solo lane. So he did it with brawn and brains, and I gotta love that.
So we got to see a little bit more, I think, from his opponent in this. NeiI didn't have much impact early on this Osiris. I don't know if that's something with the pick or just because Rapio was everywhere and he couldn't keep up with it.
I think it's
some adjustments got to be made.
Yeah, I think it's because of the way he played it. Watching him in that one team fight on the left side around like 11 minutes or so, he jumps on in there and he turns and kills the guy to his left, which is what your jungler is supposed to do. But an Osiris should go and push himself in the middle of the team fight and then make sure that he's able to judgment test of the whole world.
Predator selected here, though, as your MVP for his performance on the Baron. And really, at a certain point, there wasn't much more ChronicThe could do in lane.
Yeah.
Predators was kind of doing the Predators things way too far forward, finding way too much damage like this, keeping NeiI locked down with this ultimate. That got beads and the ultimate from NeiI. There really was just nothing he could do in this one. It was hard to watch.
Yeah, it's really rough there. Predators, the Baron, Samedi just out of control on the control mage and making it happen. RivaL, in general, looked really strong.